In 10 years, I've lost my belly fat 5 times like a switch. And in that same time, I've coached over 2,000 clients who permanently got to 12% body fat. And I'm taking that 10 years and condensing it into 10 daily habits to get to 12% body fat. And I know these work. Why? My name, first, is Michael Diamonds. I am a scientist. So all the 10 daily habits are embedded in science and biochemistry, but I'm also a medical doctor, which has allowed me to understand the physiology of the body. But as a coach, you need to also understand the psychology. But what I've also seen, and this is the good news, is that if you even implement 1 or 2 of these, you'll be able to drop the 20 to 30 pounds that you desire. Let's not waste time and dive straight in. One consistency I've seen over the 10 years is that you must be mentally fit before you can be physically fit. Let me explain. Everybody watching this video right now falls in 1 or 2 of the camps. They either want to get to 12% body fat, and the other group needs to get to 12% body fat. And there's a massive distinction. What has to happen is everyone who's not seen success is in that want category. So you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why do I need to get to 12% body fat? Because in this journey of 12% from 30% to 12, the first realization you need to make is that it's not a sprint, but a marathon. This will take time because you're going to be changing your identity. The more profound your why is, the stronger that is, the easier it is to make a decision. The easier it is to say, hey, instead of the Frappuccino, I'm gonna go for a black coffee. Give me skim milk. When you're like, hey, let's go out to eat, it's gonna be easy for you to say, hey, actually, I'll just have a Sprite Zero. I don't want any alcohol. Let me just also have a steak instead of going for the lasagna. Because that image, those thoughts, that conversation will always play in your mind because it's now become a need versus a want. And that's what I mean about becoming mentally fit. And what happens over time as you go over those speed bumps, think of it as a vote. It becomes new evidence that you're becoming a new person. But when you can think back to day one as to why you made this a need, what your why is, that simple question, that factor will be what really helps you overcome those speed bumps. And in simple, just write it down on a book. 5 to 10 reasons why you want to become that version. These were mine before I started. I wanted to show the world that I was a man of my word. And that's how this YouTube channel started. I wanted to be a symbol for natural health in this industry. I wanted to achieve financial freedom, and I wanted to inspire my mom. But write it down in a book. Write down why this is a need. And I promise you it will change your life. Daily habit number 2 is the formula to build muscle and lose fat, which is the holy grail. It is a high protein diet, 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal multiplied by a caloric deficit plus weightlifting equals muscle building and fat loss. It is so easy. So all you need to do is look at every meal and ask yourself, is there 30 to 50 grams of protein in here? That's the first thing. And make sure you're in a caloric deficit. And if you keep watching, I'll tell you how to do it easily. And then you at least need to weight lift 3 times per week. It does not take much for you to build a good quality muscle. Just 3 hours in a week. That's all it takes. Now that you know the formula, how do you do this? Number 1, we need to focus on protein. Protein by far out of protein, carbs, and fats is the most important. So I'm sure you've heard you need to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And that is true. I've even seen better results eating more, especially if you're a healthy individual. So all you need to do is remember this mnemonic for the rest of your life. 2, 6, 8, 10 equals 50. 2 scoops of a whey protein, any, is equal to 50 grams of protein. 6 ounces of cooked chicken breast is equal to 50 grams of protein. 8 ounces of cooked steak, sirloin, topside, tenderloin, all of the loins, filet mignon, all the ones that don't have like a lot of white on it, minimal fat is the best. So 8 ounces of that. And then 10 ounces of a white fish. I'm talking mahi-mahi, I'm talking cod, but you just need 10 ounces of that. And voila, then you can hit your 200 grams of protein. So it's simple. Once you know 2, 6, 8, 10, you just need to ask yourself every meal, okay, for breakfast, what am I gonna have? You know what, I'm in a hurry, I'm gonna take 2 scoops of protein. Okay, for lunch, what am I gonna have? 6 ounces of cooked chicken breast that I made in my air fryer. And that's it. It's that simple. And the beauty is that the protein will help you be in a caloric deficit because protein is very filling. It actually stimulates a hormone that signals to your brain this fullness. It's called peptide YY. If you want to take it to the next level, to go from that 20% to 12%, then you need to make sure you're in a caloric deficit. And the simplest way to do it, the simplest hack, is on a Sunday, sit down just like I am right now and take an app saying MyFitnessPal, MacroFactor, or any of the apps and spend that time tracking the foods you want to eat for the next day. And for all of you say, hey, I'm a foodie, I promise you, if you just give it 7 days of eating the same food, you will see results and you'll say, you know what, it's so worth it. And then you just need to weight lift 3 times per week. And that is going to be your formula. Simple habit number 3 is the 15,000 rule. If you're at 30% body fat, I don't want you to do cardio. Only if you're at 20%. What I want you to do is the 15,000 rule. And this works. There's no research behind it, but with the 2,000 plus clients I've coached, it works. I'll explain why. I understand why scientifically. When my clients get to that 15,000 step mark, their fat comes melting off. And you might be like, Dr. Mike, that is gonna take me forever. Listen, let me help you. It is so easy. Right now, we're doing a step challenge. And out of the 70 people participating, 40% of them are hitting 14,000 steps and more. And again, these are some of the busiest people that I know. So I'm gonna give you the hacks to do it. But I'll also tell you why first, because it's gonna motivate you. The individual who walks about 10,000 daily steps will burn roughly 500 calories. And this is why the 10,000 steps became so popular. It's because we have found to burn a pound of fat, you need to burn a total of 3,500 calories roughly. If you want to burn a pound of fat per week, that means 3,500 divided by 7 is equal to 500. That is why the idea of 10,000 steps is perpetuated. It's because if you can walk those steps every day, you're just burning. Granted, you keep your diet the same, you can burn the pound of fat. But let's take it a step further. What if we get to 15,000? So by that logic, if 10,000 burns 500, then 5,000 should burn 250 calories, right? So if you can burn 50% more calories per day, in a week, you should burn 50% more of fat. So you can go from that 1 pound of fat to 1.5. And essentially what happens with so many of my clients is that it compensates for all the mistakes you're maybe making. Not tracking the sources, the oils, not really sleeping well. All the mistakes you may be making, and that's why so many of my clients can get 15,000. So you may be like, oh, Dr. Mike, I don't have the time. Walking isn't cardio. Walking should be part of your day. Example, buy a walking pad. Let's say when you wake up while you're drinking coffee, instead of sitting on a couch, get your body moving, improve your blood flow, and walk on your walking pad, or go outside, right? Instead of sitting down, go around and walk around your block. Another option is, instead of parking right downstairs at your work, park about a couple of blocks away, budget for 15 minutes, and walk to your work and back. And I want you to remember this forever. 10 minutes of walking is equal to 1,000 steps. And now it's just a math game, which means to hit 15,000, you need 150 minutes in your day. But it doesn't mean you need to carve it out specifically, just integrate it. All I'm just saying is that it's so easy. I just need you guys to remove these limiting beliefs about how hard it is. When you walk more, your heart pumps more, which improves the blood flow to the brain. That is why walking is so good for you, especially if you want to level up in your life. It's also a de-stressor. And on top of that, I always see that it spikes people's hunger. People become so hungry. People become ravenously hungry when they do too much cardio. So if you're in phase 1, if you're in that 30%, 35%, just walk. Let's move on into daily habit number 4 is cheat more. I always tell my clients this. It's the concept of the red button. When people feel restricted, when people are told, hey, don't do this, they want to just do it more. Research has shown that when 2 individuals are in a caloric deficit, however, one individual decides to have a weekly cheat meal, a refeed meal, they both lose the same amount of weight. But the big difference is with the individual who has a cheat meal per week, this one builds more muscle. Why? Because if you think about it, let's say you decide on a Sunday, you're always gonna have a burger from Chick-fil-A. On the Monday, you will notice an increase in your performance output because you've now ingested a little bit more carbs from your burger, a little bit more fats. So I've always seen that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the performance output for myself and all my clients is always increasing, which means in a bigger period, right? 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, your training output, your ability to maintain and build muscle is much higher compared to the person who's consistently in a caloric deficit. So this is why I say cheat more. Also, on top of that, what I've realized is that as human beings, We function better when we have a reward, right? And it really establishes a positive feedback loop. So having a cheat meal once per week is super beneficial, but you can decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have a meal at Chipotle. Chipotle has amazing 500 calorie high protein options, and all your favorite restaurants really have positive, healthy alternatives. Just do it one meal per week, and you'll notice that you get into a healthier habit. This stops looking like a diet, and you start really calling it a new lifestyle. Just make sure that when you do have a cheat meal, pick the best thing. And for those of you who are afraid of doing it, I simply ask you to make your favorite meals at home. Before I move on to the next one, I want you guys to share in the comment section down below, from already these 4 pieces of daily habits that I've recommended, which one of these has helped you the most and what result did you get? Because I think more than me saying it, it is so much more valuable when it's someone else sharing their story. Habit number 5. Remember when I told you earlier I'm gonna show you how to get into a caloric deficit easily? It has to be through progressive fasting. That's exactly why it's called time restricted feeding. Now, you may not have time, or it may be a mental challenge to track your calories, but another way that we can reduce our calorie intake is simply through time. And this is how I'm gonna break it down for you. I want you to right now visualize that you have a copy of yourself. Copy 1 and copy 2. Copy 1 eats the entire day. Their stomach can consume so much calories. However, if copy 2, the other version of yourself, decided, hey, I'm gonna do this progressive fasting thing. And how it works is like this. You say, okay, cool. I'm not gonna necessarily track calories. I'm going to restrict my calories to 12 hours. By logic, copy 2 should be able to eat less calories because their stomach can only consume so much in 12 hours compared to 24, introducing time restricted feeding. And over time, maybe every 2 weeks or every month, decrease your eating window. So 12-12, first meal at 8 a.m., your usual breakfast. 8 p.m. is your final meal. Then I want you to go to a 14-10. So instead of having an 8 a.m. breakfast, I want you to have a 10 p.m. breakfast. Then you might be like, Dr. Mike, that's insignificant. What happens is that you really mitigate some of the side effects from fasting. Sometimes it's the energy that you might be like, damn, I'm so used to eating breakfast. You also usually get a ghrelin spike. And I'm showing you on the screen, usually individuals get a ghrelin spike at 8 a.m. So then having it at 10 a.m. really helps you adapt to some of the side effects of fasting. Then I want you to then go to the 16-8. So instead of a 10 a.m. breakfast, you skip breakfast altogether and you go to a 12-8. And now you get the point. You go from 16-8, 18-6. So then you have your first meal at 2 p.m., more so a late lunch. And personally, when I try and get to the single digit body fat, I go as far as fasting for 20 hours and I eat in a 4-hour window period. So that means my first meal is at 4 p.m. and my last meal is at 8 p.m. And again, these times you can shift the window, right? There's no law behind, does it specifically have to start at 12 o'clock? It can be whenever, as long as it fits your schedule. And these are the amazing benefits of fasting. Number 1, your body starts going through a process called autophagy. It starts removing waste products in your body that are inefficient and are not working well. So it starts clearing waste. Essentially, your body's not doing 1,000 other things. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna remove these dead cells, these fragments, these mitochondria that aren't useful to us. Your insulin sensitivity, right? How your body uses glucose, it starts using it much more efficiently because you haven't just been feeding your body. Your body increases in BDNF. The best way I can describe it, it stands for brain derived neurotrophic factor. It's fertilizer for your brain. Your synapses become better. You start creating new pathways in your brain. This is why you hear people always say when they fast, they have this surge of energy and mental clarity. But as you progressively fast, you mitigate all the side effects of the hunger, and you're also losing fat in the process as a bonus. And that's how you create a caloric deficit through time. And what's beautiful about this, pairing the walking with the fasting really allows my clients to find their formula. And this is why I call my program the DNA sequence. We find the formula that allows my clients to get to 12% body fat and stay there the rest of their life. They realize, Dr. Mike, I actually feel the best when I fast the 18-6 and I'm doing the 13,000 steps and I'm sleeping this amount of time. So Before I move into number 6, if you are an entrepreneur, business owner, if you are an executive, I invite you to apply to work with me and my team of medical doctors at Sculpt by Science, but that's only if you want someone to do this for you in autopilot and someone to hold your hand. If not, let's keep on going because you can just implement this advice for free. Daily habit number 6, I call it the awakening. If you have tried to lose weight, maybe you have lost weight in the past and you regained it back. Maybe you have seen some progress, but it was never permanent. The core issue I see with so many people, the thing that I work on the most with people, is sleep. Essentially what's happening with you guys, if you're not sleeping that 7 hours, I want you to think of your body as a Formula 1 car or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. And every day when you wake up, you're taking your Ferrari, you're taking your Formula 1 car on the track. And then every day you need to put it in the pit, you need to take it to the mechanics to repair. But when you sleep 4 to 5 hours, you don't give them enough time to change the brakes. You're not giving them enough time to change new tires. As time passes, your vehicle degrades, the car degrades. You just weren't giving it enough time, and that's exactly what's happening with your body. You're killing your testosterone. Your energy levels are dissipating. You're feeling hungrier. You're like, man, I can't control my hunger. Or you're like wondering, man, why don't I have any willpower? Or why am I in such low energy? It is all because of the foundation of sleep. And what so many people do is they start feeling this way and then they start to compensate it with coffee, because the coffee really fixes it. You start feeling energetic again, you want to start working out and you have your energy back. But what happens is that you start sleeping less. And it becomes this terrible yo-yo. You need to take a step back and we need to fix sleep. Research shows that individuals who sleep less can have a drop in 30% of testosterone. And what does testosterone do? It helps us build muscle, it helps give us energy, and also it helps us burn more calories. It improves our metabolism. And when you're not sleeping, you take away all of those things, or you're not doing them enough. Now, contrary to popular belief, everyone thinks sleep actually needs to be fixed at night, but no, sleep should be fixed in the morning. Let me explain. Sunlight is how our bodies know when to be asleep and when to be awake. The first thing you do, you should get early morning sunlight. Why? When your eyes get blue light, it resets all the genes in your body. This is why it takes you some time to adapt to a new country's time zone and your energy, because all of your hormones are really reset by light. Melatonin production is reset, and melatonin is the sleepiness hormone. So you need direct sunlight. The next mistake I see people do is caffeine, right? We all love our cup of coffee, but we know caffeine actually wakes us up. But what most people don't know is that caffeine has a half-life, and a half-life is described as it will decrease its concentration by half after a certain number of hours. The half-life of caffeine is 6 hours. So if you drink a cup of coffee at 2 p.m., when it becomes 8 p.m., half of that cup of coffee is still in your bloodstream. So you're wondering, damn, why am I not sleepy? It's because of the caffeine. So how do we fix this? 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. The second thing is in this 10-3-2-1 format is 3 hours before bed, no more food. When you're eating food, when you're chewing it, you're breaking down its components in the factory that is your body and utilizing it, right? But when you're in bed, you don't want your stomach to be working still. 2 hours before bed, no more liquids. If you are thirsty, you can sip. And then 1 hour before bed, so that we can have our body produce enough of that sleepiness hormone. What we want to do is avoid blue light, which we are now getting in this modern day and age from our screens. Our screens emit the same light. So if you're someone who works a lot on their computer, you're a lot on your phone, and you're not feeling sleepy, it's usually because you're getting this blue light emitted. So your eyes and your brain still thinks there's sunlight out there. But something I do for all of my clients is I get them blue light blocking glasses that essentially block this blue light that we get. You can wear those and you can find them on Amazon. Just search blue light blockers. That is the awakening. You need to correct sleep. Let's move on. Now, what is the next thing we can do to get to that 12% body fat? Yes, we do need to start introducing cardio, but which cardio specifically? We want to introduce zone 2 cardio. Zone 2 cardio is defined as cardio that is 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Zone 2 cardio has also been shown, according to science, to improve your VO2 max. And in short, VO2 max is just the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use. And it's actually a direct indicator. The better VO2 max you have, the longer you're gonna live. And research has shown the best way to improve your VO2 max is through spending more time in that zone 2 area. And research is showing between 150 to 180 total minutes per week. So I'm going to give you a routine. This is what I give to my clients. So I'll start with 2 sessions of 20 minutes of zone 2 cardio. I tell them, hey, the frequency, I want you to do 2 sessions per week, the duration of 20 minutes. So I always say 2 by 20. And then which machine are we gonna pick? The machines I like are the ones that don't have heavy impact. If you only have a treadmill, walking on an incline. If you maybe have a Stairmaster's fantastic. Elliptical, bike, rowing machine, you'll notice that these are low impact on your joints. Those are amazing forms of cardio. If you like the battle rope, go for it. And then the goal is on the machine to be at 140 beats per minute. It will burn calories efficiently. It will burn fat. It will reduce this pain that you're gonna feel from the usual running people do. And it will also improve your VO2 max. I'll take them from 2 sessions of 20 minutes to 3 sessions per week. And they might see like, hey, Mike, I can only do 3 sessions. Then I start playing with the duration. I'll say, okay, cool, let's do 3 sessions of 30 minutes, 3 sessions of 40 minutes. And for me, when I've gotten to single digit body fat, I've gotten as high as 7 sessions, 60 minutes. Now, this is for an individual who wants to compete, and you can simply just draw your own training. So say 2 by 20, 3 by 20, 4 by 20, 4 by 30, 4 by 40, 5 by 40, you guys get the point. And this will melt your body fat off. For those of you who are still watching at this point, I got a surprise for you, so just keep on watching. Habit number 8 is the hydration protocol. I'm going to share something that's so mind-blowing with you. Our bodies and our mind, right? The communication between our stomach and our brain usually confuses hunger with thirst. Many of the times you're not really hungry, you're just thirsty. And one consistency that I see with so many people is that they under-consume their water intake. It's one of the simplest things you can do to truly establish a caloric deficit. It's simply just drink more water. Now, the scientific number is this. You should always consume half of your body weight in fluid ounces. So if you're 200 pounds, you need to consume 100 fluid ounces, which is about 0.8 of a gallon. And really, in general, it is in that 2 to 3 liter mark. Now, the easiest way to determine if you're hydrated or not is just by looking at the color of your urine. If your urine is yellow, or any form of yellow, it means you're dehydrated. If your urine is clear white, it means that you're well hydrated. 3 liters, that 1 gallon, is a safe place to be with drinking that amount, but I can understand that making many trips to the bathroom can be annoying. My first piece of advice is drink a good chunk of that water in the morning. Hydrate your body, because think of it this way. We are 70% water. Our bodies are 70% water, but overall, it will help you reduce your caloric intake, right? It will help you be in a caloric deficit. It will improve your skin quality. It will improve your ability to lose fat, because now you're not eating as much compared to when you're drinking as many calories. And you'll just notice that you're not even getting sick anymore because you start flushing out all the bugs in your body. There's really no downside to drinking more water. But let's move on into the next. One thing that I've seen with everybody beyond my program, every Black Friday, I only offer this to clients who have been part of my program. I call them up and say, hey, are you good? Are you in great shape? Or do you feel like you need a little bit more help, because maybe we have some room for you? All my clients always tell me, Dr. Mike, actually, I look even better, because they've adapted these habits. But the reason for this is they've been weighing themselves. Research has shown that a level of self-monitoring, especially stepping on a weight scale every day, increases your chances of maintaining your new body weight by 50%. Let me explain why. Because when you step on a scale every day, let's say the night before I had a cheat meal and I see my weight's up by 5 pounds, and I'll see that, hey, my weight's gone up, the likelihood that I have another cheat day anytime soon will decrease, because I'll be like, well, it was because of that, right? In the opposite direction, let's say you followed the plan to the T the night before. In the morning, you check your weight scale and you see that the weight scale has come down. You'll be like, I like this. This feels good. I'm going to follow the plan to the T again. So weighing yourself daily can allow you to self-correct. And on a more neutral state, let's say 3 days have passed and you've weighed yourself daily, following the plan, you will more likely say, you know what? let me look at my process. Let me look at what I'm doing that is maybe A, causing me to be at the same weight, or B, what am I doing wrong that's not allowing me to go to a new low weigh-in? And you're holding yourself accountable and using the weight scale simply just to tell you, hey, Mike, you're going north in your weight, you're going up, or you're going south, or you're at the exact same place. It allows you to monitor yourself and be held accountable. So weighing yourself daily is a very simple habit that gets people to 12% body fat, but not only that, helps them maintain. But I am going to move into the final one, recipes. In our lifetime, you will realize as human beings, we eat the same 5 to 10 meals. And the truth is we're creatures of habit. So if we eat the same 5 to 10 meals in our life, what if you could eat the foods you love the most and have a six-pack? That's like the dream scenario. So why not do that? And my advice to everybody is that there are 5 to 10 recipes out there in your life right now that you simply need to find that will allow you to be at 12% body fat for the rest of your life. For me, wraps, chicken wraps, they are my Dr. Mike's burgers. I love eating steak and pumpkin or potatoes and pumpkin. I love ice cream. I've found healthy alternatives to make these at home that really fall within my range. Instead of eating the higher fat, higher carb foods outside, I make these recipes at home. Now, because I love you guys and I want to see you win, I am going to give you a 21-page recipe book that has 21 of my favorite recipes, including the Big Mac salad, including my Dr. Mike's burger. And if you pick 2, 3, or even 4 of these meals to eat daily, you will see your weight come off, because I've really spent decades trying to compile these foods. I want you, as a favor to me, comment down below, mashallah. And I want that to encourage people to just watch till the end, because usually at the end of a tunnel, there's always a gift. If it is a gift from God or if it's a gift from whoever you look up to. So comment down below, mashallah, and go to the bottom of my description to find a link. You're not going to have to put an email or anything to my 21-page recipe book just for you. I'm actually even going to put a training program in there. Just leave the video with a gentle thumbs up. Share this with a friend you think might benefit from watching this. Maybe they'll implement 1 or 2 of the advices. And if you are a busy professional, business owner, executive, entrepreneur, and you want to become a business athlete, you finally want the whole package and you want to work with a team of medical doctors, it's the first link in the description to apply to work with me and my team of MDs. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.